Hello, good morning, and welcome to AM Language. I am now going to share this so more people can join. YouTube. The lighting isn't great here. I think I need more light. Is that better? No, that's creating a glare. Okay, I think that might be slightly better. Okay, not the best lighting in the world. It was better yesterday. Right, so let's have a look. AM Language and low levels and share. Okay, so I'm just going to wait a little bit longer for some people to come online and then we'll begin. We've got one person, so we can at least begin and we can get to it. So good morning, everyone. This is LVS.com. Hello, LVS.com. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. We've got two people. The lighting, it's not great at the moment. I think later on in the day, I'm going to change my seating position. The only problem is how I'm linked to the internet. I wonder if this is better. Maybe. Ooh, I think if I go at an angle. Yes, I think if I go at an angle, it'll be okay. So in today's lesson, this lesson is specifically, in this lesson is for low level. So this is going to be for beginners and elementary. And so far this week, we've looked at a few things already. If we look at what we've done so far, currently we for elementary students, you guys this week we were looking at education, while for beginners we were looking at what you guys like doing. So what I think we'll do is we'll just try to mix some language for both. We're going to continue looking at verb patterns. I think the way we'll do this, we'll mix verb patterns that you guys need to be looking at, and we'll also have a little look. We did actually, with the elementary students, we looked at modifiers and we looked at comparisons. So I think what we'll do here is we'll look at bringing all of this language together in some sort of way, and we'll also just look at some new language as well, some new words, and we'll also look at some pronunciation. So we'll have a look at some different things. It can be a little bit, we'll see how we can mix everything together. So let's begin. I think with the topic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the topic is a little bit flexible. I think it's a little bit flexible, an open topic. So if anything, I think I'm going to keep it in line with some sort of travel, education, and activities. I think that will be the best overall topic. So let's have a little reminder of what we were looking at. So for yesterday and elementary students, this is good practice for you. We looked at verb patterns. What we were looking at is effectively, we started off by looking at how we can make questions like, do you enjoy traveling? Oop, I wasn't writing. Do you enjoy traveling? Do you like do you like running? And then the answer saying, yes, I love running. So we were looking at the verb patterns there of linking like with a verb ing, love with a verb with its ing form. What we'll do from here is we'll link this into the present continuous. So all of you guys can do, we can look at how we can use the present continuous, and we will link it with also when we are trying to talk about why we are doing things as well. So that can be helpful. So let's have a little look, first of all, at countries. In this, we're going to be looking at we'll look at travel, but we'll also try and make sure that we use the right, knowing the difference from the noun and the adjective. So, for example, England is the noun. Okay, so for instance, I am from England, but the adjective is English. So I speak, I am, well, I am, yes, I am English. Just want to check something there. Macmillan. Macmillan. It's a really good dictionary. Okay, so how do we use it? Sorry, I made a mistake. When I say I'm English, not the, forget the adjective bit. I'm going to delete that. I thought I had made a mistake there. We're using it. That's the point. We use it like an adjective, but it's not an adjective. That's what I wanted to say. So it's I plus am plus noun. But here we say I am English, or I speak English. That's what I wanted to say. The construction is similar to using an adjective, but it's still a noun. But we need to know the two different types of noun. So you've got the noun as in the country, such as France, and then you've got the noun as the nationality, which is French. So you've got Brazil and Brazilian. I am from Brazil. I am Brazilian. So we have to look at things. We have to make sure we get our words correct. Now, the other thing to remember is it can also be an adjective. That's the other thing. So I speak English. There we're using it as a noun. However, we can use it as an adjective as well. For instance, we can use it when we are talking about actors. Do you know any English actors? Do you know any Spanish actors. So the nationality can be both the noun and an adjective depending on our construction. So that's the first thing we need to remember. More importantly, what we do need to remember is if you need a preposition from, you're going to go with the noun and the country. I am from England. I am from Brazil. I am from Colombia. If you're going to go with the nationality, I am English. I am Brazilian. I am Chinese. I speak English. Now, how do we know if we are using the adjective or if we are using the noun form of the nationality? Okay, so English is a language, therefore it's a noun. I speak English. Because English is a language, we know that is a noun. I speak Spanish. Spanish is a language, it's a noun. But if we then say she is a Spanish writer, Spanish here is now an adjective. He is an American writer. Here, American is now an adjective. So that is how we can think, or that's how you guys can begin to know if you are using either the noun form or the adjective form of these words. So from here, let's look at some more things that we can use. We're going to bring in the comparatives here. When we're going to use comparatives that we looked at in elementary the other day. So just as a reminder, we have got words like if we say cheap, okay, the comparison is cheaper. So we can say Colombia is cheaper than the United States. So if we're saying Colombia is cheaper than the United States, we are saying that it is not that money to buy things is less expensive than in the United States. You can see here, I'm using the noun Colombia. I'm saying we're using the noun Colombia. Now, let's go with an adjective like easy. The comparative form of easy is easier. So if you are from Spain, you can say Spanish is easier than English. Now here, easier, this is your adjective that is being used as a comparative. Comparative, okay? Now, you will notice the construction. It's subject plus verb, subject plus verb plus comparative adjective plus object. Spanish is easier than English. You can see that in this case, Spanish and English are both nouns. We are using it as a noun. Now, we cannot say Spanisher or Englisher. No. Here we would have to go with more. So, for example, if we now want to use these words in the adjective form, we can say Spanish TV series are more romantic and English TV series. Here, we're using Spanish TV series, English TV series, because we are describing the type of TV series. The construction is adjective plus noun, which makes your subject. And the same is with the object as well at the end of your sentence. So for there it was Spanish TV series is your subject. And at the end of your sentence, you have English. This is the object here. So object, you make adjective plus noun equals your object at the end of your sentence, English TV series. Okay. So now that we can see that you've got the country, the name of the country, which is a noun, and then you've got your nationality, which is a noun. But these words, like English and Spanish, can be both a noun and an adjective. It depends if we're saying what the language is or if we are trying to describe something like a TV series. Another example is Spanish football is better than English football. So there we've got the comparison better, and we're saying that we're using the adjective of Spanish to describe a type of football, Spanish football, and we are saying that Spanish football is better than English football. So if you like Barcelona, you will think that Barcelona play better football than Manchester United. And at the moment they do. So we are here. We've now had a good look at these type of words. I just want to go through the pronunciation of some of these words. So let's start off with the countries. Let's start off with Britain. Oh gosh. I misspelled Britain. There we go. We've got Britain, France, Spain, let's go with Egypt. Now, America. If you are from South America, you might think that we are talking about the whole of America. But in English, if we say America, we are talking about the US. We are not talking about South America. We're not talking about Brazil, Colombia, Canada. We are not talking about those countries. In English, America is the US. Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, India, South Africa. Now, let's go through each of these countries and state the nationality. First, we have British, French, Spanish, the Egyptian, American. There's no adjective for the United States. It's just American. Australian, New Zealander. I'm from New Zealand. In UK English, we would say for New Zealand, actually, we would say Kiwi, to be honest. I'm Kiwi. I'm a New Zealander. You could go with New Zealander, but for me, no. It sounds weird to me. We just say Kiwi. I'm Kiwi, yeah. That's an odd one. Japan, Japanese, Japanese. China, Chinese. India, Indian. And South African. South African. The only one which is a bit strange is New Zealand. Yes, instead of saying New Zealander, they would say Kiwi, like the fruit kiwi. But in New Zealand, there is a bird called kiwi as well. So yes, that is the only difference there. Now, let's continue. We've got some more actually that we could use. Let's talk about how important languages are. So when we are talking about how important something is, we've got different levels. We've got not very, it's not very important. Not important. Not important. Not very important. Quite important. Very important. Actually, no, then important. And then very important. So you've got not important, not very important, quite important, important, very important. So let's go through. Let's start off with English. Obviously, English is very important. We can say Chinese. If you go to China, Chinese is very important. If you go to Colombia, Chinese is not very important. Or it's simply just not important. You've got Arabic. Now, there's lots of different types of Arabic, so it depends where you are. But if you are in an typical Arabic country, then yes, Arabic would be important. But if you are in South America, then no, it's not important. French. Obviously, in France, French is very important. In Africa, in some parts, French is important, and other parts it is not important. German. How important is German? Well, in Germany it's important, but I think for the rest of the world it's not important. I think it's only important in Germany. There might be one or two places in the world which might be different though. Japanese. Japanese is important in Japan. In South Africa, it's not important. Romanian. Well, Romanian is important in Romania, but I don't think it is important in many other places. Now, Russian can be important. It's obviously very important in Russia, but if you know Russian, then this can be important if you go to other countries, such as the Ukraine. So there are other countries, or Poland. I think quite a lot of people in Poland can speak Russian. So Russian can be an important language. And finally, sorry, two more. Spanish. Well, Spanish is very important, obviously in Spain, but then in South America, it is very important. And then you have Turkish. Turkish is very important in Turkey. And I think in countries around Turkey, it can be important to know Turkish as well. Now, if we then start to look at this point, let's look at some let's talk about culture and different things in different countries. What we're going to talk about is if something looks good or sounds good. So, for example, you can even say this. Well, let's talk about one, actually. So we're also going to look at when one can become the object, when there is a choice. So let's look at food, okay? And we're going to talk about simply, you have two pizzas. You have a margarita and you have pineapple on pizza. So you have the Hawaiian. So you've got two choices. When you have two choices and you decide and you choose which one, you can, instead of saying the margarita, you can point and say this one or that one, this one, that one. So we can say this one looks good or that one sounds good. So when we are talking about countries and types of food, for example, what looks good, what sounds good, we can say pizza in Rome sounds good. If I'm using the word sound, it's not because I can see it, it's because someone is telling me about it. If I can see something, then it looks good. So ice cream, if I can see ice cream, I can see it, it looks good. If someone is telling me and I'm listening, then it sounds good. So let's look at types of food. Japanese food. Now, I have not been to Japan, but people tell me that Japanese food is delicious. Which place is it? Not Tokyo. I want to say, is it Quito? I can't remember the name, but I do know that in some parts of Japan, Japanese food is famous for being delicious. So to me, Japanese food sounds good. It sounds good. If we talk about Spanish food or South American food, I have been now. I tried I tried Colombian food recently. I tried something called arepas. Arepas. It looks good and it tastes good. If I use a comparative, I can say, let's say Colombian food tastes better. What's happening here? That's it. Tastes better than Chilean food. Now, if I use Chile, I'm talking about the country. And if I say Chilean, then I'm using the adjective. So Colombian food, adjective, noun. Colombian food. Chilean food, adjective, food, noun. Chilean food. When I was in South America, I thought Colombian food tasted better than Chilean food. I thought Peruvian food. So you've got Peru, the country, and then you've got the adjective or the nationality, the noun Peruvian. I thought Peruvian food was better than Chilean food. If I talk about meat, like steak, okay, I think this is a difficult one because steak in France is delicious. The French steak is delicious, but the Argentinian steak is also delicious. Which one is better? Well, that's difficult to say. Maria, yes, of course. I think I think Argentinian steak is more delicious than, well done, yes, Peruvian food, Maria. I think Argentinian steak tastes, or I think Argentinian steak is more delicious than French steak. So here for the comparative, I'm using more delicious. More delicious. So that is what I would say. I think Argentinian steak is. I think Argentinian steak is more delicious than French steak. Then, if we talk about other types of food, let's say German breakfast and English breakfast. Now, if I want to use the word taste, and I want to say tastier, well, the adjective is tasty. Okay, so tasty is when food is nice. That's the adjective. So the comparative of taste is of tasty is tastier. So we take away the y and we put in ier. So I can say English breakfast is tastier than German and the German breakfast, and the German, and the breakfast, then German breakfasts. Yeah, then German breakfast. So English breakfast is tastier than German breakfast. I probably should put the English breakfast. It's quite a thing in England, breakfast. So the English breakfast is tastier than the German breakfast. So I can say something like that. Turkish food. Turkish food is delicious, and we can always say the Turkish kebab is more delicious than the Mexican wrap, for example. Now, what we can look at here is let's look at how we can also let's now look at the present continuous. Okay. Let's see if we can start pulling different things in together. So the present continuous, you've got your subject plus your verb to be plus verb ing. In this case, we are talking about, in the present continuous, you talk about something that is happening in the present. So at the moment, we are having a YouTube English lesson. We are, because this is happening now. We are having a YouTube English lesson. We can say, if we are watching a football match, we can say the French are beating the Germans in football, for example. So here again we have the subject plus verb to be plus verb with the ing form plus object. And it has to happen in the present. I can say I am eating lunch if it's in the present. I am speaking, which is the present continuous. So that is how we can make the present continuous. If it's a question, we can say, what are you doing? The answer, I am studying English. The question might be, are you watching The Crown, which is a TV series? Yes, I am watching The Crown. Yes, I am. Or yes, I am watching it. We could say, what are you reading? I am reading a book by a Russian writer. Okay, so what have I done in this sentence? I've got I. which is the pronoun, and my subject. I've got am, which is my verb to be. I have my verb with ing, which is reading. And I have my object of my sentence. In this case, it's a book by a Russian, which is an adjective, writer. So I am reading a book by a Russian writer. I am reading a book by an English writer. I am reading a book by a Spanish writer. So here we are using the present continuous to tell the person what we are doing in the moment, and we've used an adjective of a country to describe to tell the person where the writer is from. If it's a TV series, we can do this as well. She is watching an American TV series. Again, this is the present continuous. We've got she, which is the subject, plus is, which is the verb to be, plus the verb ing, which is watching. And finally, we have the object, which is comprised of an adjective plus noun, which is American TV series. American TV series. Okay, now that is the construction. Sorry, that is how we make it. So in the comment section, I'm now going to ask you guys some questions. And I want you to try in the live chat. I want you to try and answer the questions. So the first question is this: what are you doing? This is obviously talking about now. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Can you answer? Can you write, what are you doing? What are you doing? This means now. So I will give you your answer in 1 minute, but see if you can write the answer before I write. Okay? 1 minute starting from now. I'm charging my cell phone. Well done, Maria. That was very quick. Excellent. Good stuff. I am charging my cell phone. Okay, Maria, I am going to ask you, can you put an adjective before cell phone? So, for instance, can you say, for instance, I'm charging my new cell phone. I'm charging my old cell phone. I'm charging my brilliant cell phone. I'm charging my... You could actually, if you like, you can also tell me the brand. That's another option. I'm charging my Samsung cell phone, my cell phone, which is Samsung, which is a Samsung. So if you want, you can try and add a little adjective to that. I'm charging my Maltese cell phone. I'm charging my English cell phone, my Spanish cell phone, my Colombian cell phone. You've got those options. Let me ask you another question. What TV series are you watching? Now, with a TV series, because it takes a long time to watch a TV series, you don't watch all 5 seasons in a day. This is an ongoing activity, and it might take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 2 months to watch a TV series. I am watching a TV series at the moment, and I am watching Person of Interest, which is an American TV series. There are 5 seasons. I'm on season 2. I started watching this maybe 3 weeks ago. So that's the TV series I'm watching. I'm going to give you a minute. Can you try and tell me what TV series you are watching? What TV series are you watching? I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. 10 seconds. Okay. So if it were me, I'd say I am watching an American. Oh, I'm doing many things in the quarantine. Wow, good sentence. For example, I'm writing an history about the life. Ooh. Okay, Maria, really close. The first part of the sentence is really good. I'm doing many things in quarantine. You don't need the, just in quarantine. For example, I'm writing. Now, I can understand you using the word history. History is in the past. If it's in the present, it's a different word. It's called an account. So you would say, I'm writing an account of something. I'm writing an account of life at the moment. For example, I am writing an account of life at the moment. At the moment, means now. So what it's like to live in quarantine. So if you write an account, it then becomes history. It then becomes something in the past. But as you write it in the present, we wouldn't call it history. We call it an account. Now, how to use history. I'm writing in, because history is the subject, and we can't use an history. If you want to use you would have to use the adjective here because it isn't quite complete. Another example is I'm writing a historical, because that's the adjective of history. And then you need the noun, a historical account of life in in quarantine, for example. That would be a very good sentence, actually. I'm writing a historical account of life in quarantine. You can write that, Maria. Now, going back to my answer, what TV series are you watching? I am watching an American TV series called A Person of Interest. Good. Now, let's see. What if the question is, what are you doing today? Let's say that is the question. What are you doing today? It's a sunny day. We are in quarantine, so going out is a little bit difficult. But what are you doing today? I'm going to give you... I need water. What are you doing today? I am going to give you 1 minute to try and write your answer. Okay, 1 minute starting from now. I'm attending my English lesson on YouTube. Excellent. Well done, LVS.com. That's a really good sentence. Excellent. I'm attending my English lesson on YouTube. Really well done. I'm very happy with that answer. Good stuff. Now, finally, let's look at some pronunciation just before we end. We're going to look at some words, and we're going to look at the pronunciation. In this case, we're going to look at, let's see. Let's start off with we'll look at adjectives because we have been talking about adjectives. The first one, let's go with creative. I am creative. This has 2 syllables. Actually, creative, 3 syllables. We've got creative, 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 creative. Oh, let's see, Maria. After finished my lesson online, I will be doing workout. After I take a shower, also I cook my own food. I finally my day writing a historical of the life. Well, Maria, really well done. I can understand what you're writing. However, let me help you with some things. Now, finished is if the what we are talking about is already in the past. Because the lesson is still happening, I can't use finished. We would say, after my online lesson finishes. So that's the first thing. I will. So that's the first thing we need to look at. Because the lesson is still happening, we have to use the present. After my online lesson finishes. And then you've gone on to use I will, a future continuous. But we don't need to use a future continuous in the next bit. But that's the first thing. If the lesson is happening, we have to use the present. After my online lesson finishes. Next. I will be doing workout. Now, workout is a noun. So here we've got two options. Either I will be doing exercise, which is fine, or I will work out. I think in this case, we can then go for the phrasal verb of workout. So in this case, I will work out, which means I will be I will work out, I will exercise. Actually, yes, we can go like this. So either I will be doing exercise, or I will work out, or I will exercise. So we can just go with the verb like that. Then we can go with full stop. Start your next sentence with later. Later, I will take a shower and cook my own food. I think here you don't need to worry about my own food. You can just say, later I will take a shower and cook dinner. Then you say, finally my day writing historical. Okay. At the end of the day, I will write a Is this your diary? Because if this is a diary, you can just say, I will write in my diary. Okay, so what you can say is, after my online lesson finishes, I will work out. Later, I will take a shower and cook dinner. At the end of the day, I will write in my diary. And that's what you can do. Well, we've run out of time. The end of the lesson is here. So when this lesson finishes, that's when you can then say, after my lesson finished, then you'll use the past. I went and did exercise. I then took a shower. I also cooked a dinner, and then I wrote in my diary. So that is what you can do once it's in the past. Thank you very much for today, guys. Thank you very much for writing. A special thank you to LVS.com and Maria as well. Thank you for writing. Thank you for giving me your answers. And have a really good day. And I will see you guys next week. We're hoping to. I hope to give you guys some good news as well. The timetable for the lessons next week will go up later tomorrow. Have a great day. Like the video, share, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.